Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Must Eat Comics podcast. I am your host Jesse B, broadcasting live from West Palm Beach, Florida. With me tonight is a very special guest, the one and only Vance Major. Vance, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, brother.
It's cool. It's good to get you on finally.
Yeah, it's a long time in the making, man.
Right. We've been meaning to do this for a very long time, ever since
Years, I think.
Yeah, I don't even remember how long, when you first created Promenade.
Yeah. It's well, hell, that was like 4 years ago. I know it's been at least 2.5, 3 years with you. We keep meaning to, you know, make our mark on the world per se with comic stuff and talking geek, So it's good to be on, man. It's good to finally get this going.
Yeah. Oh boy, I remember when Promenade first got started. It was like a couple thousand members, and then now all of a sudden it's just huge.
Yeah. I remember when it was like less than 50, and I was struggling to grasp onto every single friend. Like, guys, I got this really cool group, and everyone's like, "No, fat man, leave us alone." But now we're 7,300, and for the most part, drama free. So.
Wow. Yeah, it caught on really big, I guess. I was helping out with movie reviews and all kinds of reviews I was throwing out there. I remember I did like a Masters of the Universe review.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Yeah, I remember that. Good times. But we're here tonight to talk about the big epic blockbuster movie coming up, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
Vance, how excited are you for this? Scale of 1 to 10.
Well, excitement, I would say I'm probably about a 9 or a 10. Nervousness, I'm probably about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on this. I wasn't really a big fan of Man of Steel, and it was me, my friend Erica, my wife, and my little brother Pete. We all went to go see Man of Steel, and I left away from the movie just kind of disgusted because I didn't think they got the character right. But with this one, I'm hoping that they kind of tip the balance back towards gaining some fans, because I know with the Amazing Spider-Man I didn't really care for that one, but I loved Amazing Spider-Man 2, and the fact that made me go back watch Amazing Spider-Man, and I could appreciate it a little more. So I'm hoping that this one will do the same thing,
Right, pick back up with the character
right.
The way it should be.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same with Man of Steel. I wasn't real impressed with it. I felt like it was a little too melodramatic. To me, Superman should be more uplifting. There was a lot of kind of like downtime in that movie, I felt like.
Well, the thing I found most damning about the movie, and again, it's one of those things where it's like their intention was, let's grab new people, new blood, and whatnot. And I think on one aspect they did that, because I know there's a lot of little kids out there that are like, yay, Superman! They got their little capes and they're flying around and whatnot. But I know for some of us older fans, we're just kind of sitting back going, that ain't Superman. And I think part of the problem goes with is the essence of the character. I didn't see anything about this character that I thought was very Superman-esque. Now, in the comics, the writers tend to write him in two ways. One, they write him in a way that, like, he's so powerful, he can, stop trains and, bullets bounce off. He can blow out entire stars like birthday candles. And that character I can't really relate to. None of us really can, because we're human. We're, pretty easily disposed of.
Yeah.
But the character of Superman that is very human, deals with those type of issues, like that I can relate to. I think Smallville got him right in that regard. Even though he was kind of mopey a lot of the time, I felt that was a pretty good adaptation of the character. So when I went into this movie, I tried not to compare it to Smallville or Christopher Reeve's Superman. I really just tried to go in and be like, all right, fresh perspective, let's see what they got. Because they've done that a couple times in comics, like All-Star Superman, Superman Earth 1, I think is what another one's called. And they've done really good adaptions of his origin. And so I went into this thinking this is just going to be another adaptation. And I didn't see any of that heart, and I couldn't relate to this character at all. So excitement-wise, like I say, that's why I'm a 9 or 10, because it's like you're seeing Batman versus Superman, but the nervousness is I feel like they dropped the ball the first time. I'm hoping they don't do it again. especially with everything that's riding on this type of movie, you know, with them redoing the
Definitely.
franchise, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, you made some really good points there. I agree with you. Like I remember Superman. You know, Christopher Reeves is what I grew up with. And, you know, the trumpets and everything. Bum, 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 and here comes Superman. And there was
Right.
none of that in this movie. I felt like, oh, it's such a drag most of the way through.
Yeah.
Um, I understand, like, Zack Snyder was and David Goyer, to some respect, they're going for a more like realistic and gritty feeling, kind of like the Christopher Nolan Batman films. But yeah, it just didn't have a lot of appeal to me. The action scenes were good though. I will give it that.
Well, see, the thing about it is, and again, going back to like the essence of the character, like if they could get that right, then everything else is just, you know, you can extrapolate all these, you know, different things and change this and change that. But if you don't have the essence of the character, you just got it wrong. And I think with Zack Snyder, one of the things he had mentioned was he said we're going to go ahead and take the underwear off of Superman, and we're going to put him in the real world. And to me, I kind of felt like you're missing the point. That underwear on the outside doesn't make him any more real or less real. It's his values. This is a guy who's supposed to set that bar, you know, set the example for all of us and inspire us. And the only thing this movie inspired me to do is try to get a refund, you know. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say Zack Snyder is very good at visuals. I enjoy
Yeah.
his movies where he gets the look really artistic looking, and I like the costume this time around. I think they got the pretty good guy to play Superman.
Yeah, see, like that's the thing. Like Zack Snyder, like they have all of the parts of a great movie. Like if you go back to the remake of Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder did a really great job with that. In fact, that's probably my favorite zombie movies, especially modern zombie movies. Like it's really the only one that does it just absolute justice. So the guy can direct. He's not a, you know, one note hack like some of the people out there, Michael Bay, and. You know, I felt like they got Superman right. The guy looks like Superman. The guy's got a big heart. One thing I thought was really kind of cool was he would actually, Henry Cavill would actually go around to the hospitals and wear the Superman costume.
Wow.
And like to me, I try to do a lot of charity stuff for people when I can. And when I saw that, I was just like, tip of my hat to the guy. I got to go see this film. You know, him doing stuff like that. You know, he's earned my $15. But I felt like they just didn't give him much to do. Like the relationship with Lois, I felt it felt forced to me. And some people, you know, they'll sit there and they'll say, "Well, you're so hung up on Christopher Reeves that you can't make room for the modern generation." And you know, that's really not the case because honestly, I don't really like those Christopher Reeve movies. Like I'll watch them. They have a certain, you know, tugness on my heart there, but I don't really like them per se. I really don't like the character.
Okay, all right.
But
yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm not a big Superman fan per se in that regard, but I don't think this movie, where it should have been a jumping on point to make me a fan, I just don't think it did. So I'm hoping with the inclusion of Batman, which some people have bitched about, you know, make me a fan. You know, that's all I'm asking. You know?
Right. Yeah. Do you think it was a good idea to make this a direct sequel to Man of Steel and to disconnect it with the Christopher Nolan movies?
Yeah, because well, really, you got to look at it. Like some people have kind of complained about that. You know, it should be part of Chris Nolan's movies and whatnot. But you know, if they're trying to distance themselves from it, then you kind of need a direct sequel, and you kind of need to have Batman there, at least someone else in the cape and cowl, because it's like otherwise you're gonna be like, no, it's still part of that franchise, you know. And if you're trying to distance yourself, especially with the way Marvel's doing their stuff with so many different lineups, if DC's to follow that course, you kind of have to. So I think bringing Batman in, even if it was just for a cameo to show, hey, it's not Christian Bale, this is a completely different continuity. Like I kind of feel like you need to, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's a pretty good point. So, do you feel like it's necessary to bring in a high-profile character like Batman to try and boost the success of Superman? Because they haven't been doing too well with Superman movies.
Well, they haven't been doing very well with movies in general. Go back to Green Lantern.
Yeah,
That
big flop. Yeah.
yeah, that was like yeah.
But then again, the Batman movies have done really well.
Well, yes and no. Like again, like money wise, of course they've made their money back. They could probably have continued that franchise if Chris Nolan had wanted to. But when you look critically, Dark Knight was, a really awesome sequel as opposed to Batman Begins. But then when you go to Dark Knight Rises, although I like that movie, I certainly see where people, didn't, where they feel like it kind of changed the tone from being a more realistic, grim and gritty to kind of this open world and like everyone's like, what? What's going on? So if you look at it critically, you've got one really great movie, one decent movie with Begins, one that's split down the middle with Dark Knight Rises, and then a total flop with Green Lantern. They're not batting 1,000. So honestly, I think it's kind of like what they've been doing in comic books, which is rebooting. I think that's kind of what they need to do with the movies, and hopefully they do it right, because they have the potential here to, even though they're throwing in a bunch of characters in there, they've got the potential to really tell some decent stories like Marvel's been doing. I'm not a Marvel fan, but I love their movie franchises.
Right. Yeah,
And
I'm a huge Marvel fan.
I think they should take a page, honestly, from the TV universes like Flash and Arrow. Both of them are really independent from anything from the comics, but they really have enough ties there. And I think if the movies get this right, then they should follow that lead.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised that they didn't have more of a tie-in or announce more of a tie-in with the TV shows.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be building a pretty big DC universe with the TV shows. I mean, now you have Constantine, you got Arrow and Flash. And Gotham, too. Gotham as well.
Well, Gotham, like, when you look at the behind-the-scenes stuff, like, and keeping in mind that Gotham is on Fox, CW has Flash, Arrow, and Constantine. I forget which one that's on. But, again, like, one of the writers said that, all the TV franchises are kind of like it's kind of like a multiverse with the TV. So it's like that's kind of cool, but flip side of the coin, I don't think it would have been that hard to have Flash and Arrow brought back in, and I think it could cause some confusion when you sit there and have Flash in the Justice League, and then you watch TV and you're like, well, that's Flash too. Of course, that's assuming that the audience is stupid per se, which of course they're not, but it's like, why wouldn't you just use the same character, and I think especially with Arrow, it really lends itself to the gritty feel that at least was in the very first Man of Steel movie, so I think it's a missed opportunity, but all you can do is keep your fingers crossed and hope that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on a little bit, like I was saying, with feeling the need to tack on Batman to make a Superman movie successful. We also have a bunch of other Aquaman, Wonder Woman, even Cyborg is going to be in this film. So it really seems like they're doing everything they can to make Superman more successful. With all the cameos. Of course, it's probably leading up to a Justice League movie.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if they're smart, what they'll do is they'll have bits and pieces of the characters, in costume or hell even out of, but simple nods here and there. Some people say, and they complain about it being too full of a film. But when you look at Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't know any of those characters, and I absolutely loved the movie. Fell in love with the movie right away. And I think with this, it's like we all know these characters, so we kind of have that advantage in that regard. But going into it fresh, it's the same type of mentality where if you tell a good, interesting story and the actors act it decently, like you don't have to give us much. It's quality over quantity. Like give us a little bit and get us enticed. But honestly, I'm hoping for, I'm hoping whenever the Justice League gets together, I'm hoping Doomsday, shows up and stomps the hell out of all of them, to show us why we need a Superman.
Exactly. That's the rumors I'm reading, like from ScreenRant.com. They're talking about Doomsday possibly being the villain in this movie, the guy that actually brings Superman and Batman together as one unit.
Hmm. That would
And
be
that would be amazing, right?
well, yeah. Like the thing about it was like, have you seen Smallville?
I've seen some of Smallville, not a whole lot.
Well, see, like season 8, I really enjoyed, and that was the season where they brought in Doomsday, and they had a kind of a character, kind of like a Bruce Banner type. His name was Davis Bloom, and there were a lot of parallels between him and Clark. And by the end of the season, like the tension slowly building with each episode, it was so good, and the makeup. And costume design for Doomsday was just really awesome. Like he looked scary, but then the fight at the end of the season was pretty lame, you know, because you can only do so much on a CW budget. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, and hell, even if they took the same costume or something pretty similar to that, and just gave us an epic fight, you know, I think that would be awesome. That was one of the problems
Totally.
that I had with Man of Steel was the fight and all the damage that was done. I kind of felt like it was too early for all of that stuff. Like the damage that was in that movie, if it had been Doomsday, then I would have clearly been like, yeah, I could see why that damage is there, and why he has to go so hard to destroy this thing. But with Zod, it's like I kind of felt like they pulled out all the stops and they just didn't deliver, you know.
Yeah, I see your point there. Well, I think the destruction was maybe even a key plot point because they wanted to tie that in with this movie. From the rumors that I'm hearing, all the destruction that was caused in that fight is going to be like one of Batman's key points against Superman. So
Right.
we'll see if that plays out.
I I I had
Go
heard
ahead.
from I had heard from one of the rumors that Bruce was coming to, like, he was going to be working with Lex, but he was also kind of investigating Lex, and so like I think that kind of makes sense on some point. And then I don't know. I don't think they're going to disappoint because I saw the clip that was leaked from Comic Con.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that clip?
Yeah, I watched it actually again just a few minutes ago.
Dude, goosebumps. Like I love the fact that they were able to bring. They brought back Frank Miller's costume, and it's just like that is awesome.
Yeah, that
Like,
kicks ass. I
yeah.
mean, they got like, several costumes. It seems like for the bat suit.
Hmm. Yeah,
And they
they
all
got
look
the.
good. Yeah, they all look really good too.
Well, it's like what Kevin Smith had said a couple months ago. Well, not a couple months, but it was more like 6 months or 7 months ago, that he had seen the bat suit, and he was like, "It's nothing like you've seen before." And looking at it, it's just like you're right. Like I'm really eager for that. And then to see Ben Affleck like bulk up, you know, it's
Yeah,
like
he
the
looks
dude's
big.
yeah, dude's a Batman fan. You know, it's like even if you don't like him, you know, if you look at any of the other actors that have played Batman, none of them have been big Batman fans. So I think that's one up where Ben Affleck will get the part right. You know, he's, you know, even if you don't like him, like the guy knows how to play dark. The guy knows how to play tormented. I think he could do this justice. You know, and
Justice.
huh?
Justice.
Yeah, right.
But absolutely, yeah. How do you feel about there being like a huge Gatling gun on the Batmobile?
I don't even know, dude. Like, I saw the little clips of it as it was driving, and I saw the one where, you know, Ben is standing next to it, kind of all hunched over and whatnot. I love the fact that it reminded me a lot of Michael Keaton's Batmobile, which to me, like, that's the definitive Batman. Even
Yeah.
though the guy couldn't turn his neck, like, he still was Batman to me.
I never thought about that. He can't turn his neck.
He can't, yeah, if you know, it's like, the only way to stop Batman is just take a step left, and then he has to turn the whole body. You know, it's like, yeah, it's not hard to stop Michael, but like to me, like
Right.
the fight scenes were never really what made the character. To me, what made the character was his determination and whatnot, and how he does things. And with this movie, like I said, I'm really hoping that they step out from the grim and gritty and kind of embrace the light per se, because it's like everyone likes Batman because he's dark. Everyone likes Superman because he inspires and he's hope. And it's like I hope they get that right, you know, especially with so many characters thrown in there. I really just hope that they can make this character, you know, just elevated in a way that the first film didn't. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, whenever you have so many characters in one film, it kind of raises a lot of red flags.
You
I know, yeah, like especially Spider-Man 3 suffered from that, and a couple other movies. Yeah, without going into that can of worms.
know?
How,
Yeah,
let's,
that's a whole nother podcast right there, man.
oh yeah, boy oh boy. Anyways, where do we go from there? Oh, let's talk about Batman versus Superman: Public Enemies. Have you seen
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Honestly, anyone out there that's seen it, if you enjoyed it, get the graphic novel because it goes so much more in depth and it is
Mhm.
so such a good read.
Yeah.
It's the I actually bought those individual comics when they came out, and then when the
Wow.
trade paperback came out, like I bought that too.
Oh,
Just because it's like at the time when I supported comics, it was like it was just such a good read, and to have all of them together, I'm lazy and I lose shit a lot, so to have them all into one, I'm like, yay! But
yeah.
when I saw they did the art the same way, that Ed McGuinness did his book, like
Mm.
that, to me, it was just icing on the cake. And of
Yeah.
course, my
I
little
love
brother
it.
liked it.
Yeah, I love Ed McGuinness's art. It's fantastic to me. But even the animation, I felt they did a tremendous job with that movie. The voice acting, everything. Um, and when I heard that they were going to do a Batman Superman movie, first of all, I was skeptical of like, is this for real? Are they really going to do that? And then second of all, once I realized this is legit, I thought Public Enemies would be a perfect sort of layout for that type of movie.
Well, and that's the thing. Like DC Comics, for some reason, their live action movies is kind of lackluster, but their animated movies are just really awesome. Like
Yeah.
I think I can count on my hand as many movies that have disappointed me with the animated series or with the animated style, and it was never because the story was lacking. It was just like it wasn't my cup of tea. But if they were to just take those writers, because obviously they know what they're doing. So it's like
Yes.
it's
Yes.
like
Please.
yeah,
So
yeah,
good.
like. But the thing I liked about the graphic novel for Public Enemies, the thing I liked about that, and I hope they get that with this movie, is the dialogue. Like you got inside Bruce's head, and then you also got inside Clark's head. Like as
Yeah.
the story was progressing all throughout the book, you got their individual thoughts, and I loved seeing how they both reacted differently internally to whatever the situation was. And it's like although you can't do that in a live action movie or an animated feature because that's just you can't get inside their head that way. Like I really thought it was psychologically good, a good character study. And I think if this movie does anything right, give us a character study on all of these characters, and I guarantee they'll come back. Because we all want to. I mean, let's face it, none of us are going into it going, oh, here's my $10. I'm gonna hate this. We all want to love these movies.
Mm,
So it's like we're just waiting for the brass to step out per se and let these people do their job.
right on.
It's like when a
Absolutely.
when a studio gets too involved, like you brought up the Spider-Man 3 thing. When a studio gets involved too much, it's just shake your head.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when there's so much money on the line, the studio's always putting more and more into it, and
Yeah.
that's when it crumbles, goes to hell.
Well, yeah, you can't throw money at a problem and expect it to go away. Like, hire the people that are talented and then step back, let them do their job. It's like, I don't know if you've ever worked fast food, but I've worked at a Dairy Queen, and nothing was more annoying than the boss standing over my shoulder. It's like, dude, let me cook. Get the hell out of my kitchen. And it's like if they were to do that here, like,
Yeah.
why did you hire them if you're not going to let them do their job?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is okay, it's obviously going to have Batman versus Superman. It's going to be a big battle, fight. How does Batman get going against Superman? Like, what's up his sleeve? You know what I'm saying?
Well, of course, it's Batman, so he's got to have kryptonite.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing about the first movie was, people say, oh, there was no real kryptonite. Well, the air and stuff that he was breathing on that ship, was from that environment. So it's like I wouldn't put it past Bruce to already have his hand in all of that shit and have some type of form of kryptonite in that regard. That and the fact that I think Jenna Malone is her name. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Like she's rumored to be Carrie Kelly, Robin. So it's like not only is it going to be Bruce, he's going to have people, backing him up. So like for me as a Robin fan, I'm excited for that. Like I'm more excited for that than I am Batman. I'm like, yay, Robin! Something more
Yeah.
than Chris O'Donnell with his large cod piece that the whole time you're just sitting there watching it going, this is really weird.
Why are there nipples on the bat suit?
What's wrong with that? Yeah, exactly. Put it on the guys, but not on Batgirls. Like that's a shame.
Weird, man. Really weird. Oh boy. But yeah, Robin in the movie. That's something to be seen. I didn't think we would ever see Robin in a Batman movie for at least a long time.
Yeah, I thought it would be introduced in like a solo movie or something instead of, something this large, but you're going to have Alfred in that, which also kind of surprises me. Like, not only are they having like the Wonder Woman and the Flash and Aquaman, but they got Alfred, they got Robin, the return of Lois Lane, Perry White. It's like they got so many characters. Like and I don't think any one of these people are going to be so integral to the plot, but it's like it'll be nice to have cameos. Like, have you seen Justice League New Frontier?
I didn't see that one, no.
Honestly, that's a really good movie. It's a time period piece, and it's one of those ones where it's like I hate the time period, but it's done in such a nice way, and the characters all bring their own personalities to the script and whatnot, where it's like they're never seen on film a whole bunch, but you really enjoy what little you get, and I think that's what's going to happen here with Alfred, Robin, Perry. I guess I am more excited than I thought. I really hope they don't fail.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot of enthusiasm for this one.
Well, they got a lot. They got a lot going against it. Like they got a Captain America,
Civil War.
Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
and that right there, I had heard originally they were going. I think they were going toe to toe with that movie, which I thought back then I was like, don't go up against Captain America. Not that I'm a big Captain America fan, although I like these movies, and they've certainly made me a fan of the franchise. But it's like you've got two movies that are both proven good. Don't risk what you've got against something like that. Not saying you can't see both movies, but the way the economy is, it's like people only got $10 to spend on a ticket. You got choice between these movies. Are you going to go see Batman and Superman, or are you going to go see a movie that you're like, well, they've got two great movies, especially if you were kind of torn on Man of Steel, So it's like there is a lot riding on this movie, So, fingers crossed,
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I, for one, am absolutely looking forward to seeing it. I wish it was sooner.
Right.
We still haven't seen an actual trailer. We got the teaser leaked, but even plot details are obscure to us right now. So we're all just kind of sitting and waiting, and the speculation is rising and rising and rising.
And that's one of those things that, like in that regard, like it's a good thing, but flip side of the coin, it's also kind of a bad thing, because it's like me, I don't really want to see spoilers, because I want to go in there and be surprised. And I think the internet has kind of spoiled people in a lot of ways. Like a lot of times we go to a movie and we already know all the facts, and like very seldom do people just go to a movie where they're like, I have no idea what to expect. Like the other day I watched with my wife a movie called The Interview, and I never had any desire to see it. I thought it was going to be a piece of crap. I watched it and I was just like, dude, it's really funny. Like there's a line, they hate us because they ain't us, and I'm like, yay, ain't us. So it's like we were just throwing that phrase around work because it was just such a stupid line. But I never thought I could enjoy a movie like that, And I think if people were to go into this movie with that regard instead of looking up every little spoiler, it's like we're an impatient people, so it's like that kind of works against the movie too. So, I don't know. I'm hoping for a really good movie.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll hope for the best.
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts regarding the movie, or any details?
Well, seeing the plans that DC well Warner Brothers, not DC, that Warner Brothers has, it's like if they have even half the success that they have for their TV, then I think we're in for a treat. And like if you look at Ben Affleck's last movie, because people give him a lot of shit for, because they don't like him or they think he'll do a bad job or whatnot. It's like if we all go into it just kind of an open mind to see what they have to present instead of saying, well, this doesn't match continuity with this, and it's like, you can't really compare things to what's come before, which is kind of proving their point when they're like, Christopher Reeve fans hate this movie. You know, it's like, no, you really have to step out of that and be like, all right, what are they trying to present us? Does this story that they're telling warrant telling the story? You know, and if they're going to give us a lot of bang, I don't want to see it. Give me something with some substance. Because although you're right, in Man of Steel, the graphics were pretty good. It's still, for me, it was too Transformer-esque. Like, I was sitting there going, what happened? Where'd he go? Like, I don't know. So it's like, I'm hoping for something with a little more story, where with Man of Steel, like, it just had too many plot holes. So with this, I'm hoping for a more solid script, and just give us the characters we love. You know, don't give us radical interpretations or something that's edge and modern. Just give us the characters. What's the problem with that? Marvel's done that, and their success is shown, you know.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed, man.
I'm really looking forward to how they're going to portray Batman and Bruce Wayne this time around. We've seen so many different versions of Bruce Wayne, it seems, and people are so familiar with Batman. You know, I'm really interested in seeing how they're going to pull that off. You know?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, you bring up a good point. Like, there has been so many different variations of Batman. Like, you know, my favorite's Michael Keaton, but I also like the animated series, you know, the one from the 90s. I'm not really too hip on the campy stuff, but, like, watching the cartoon Batman Brave and Bold, like, I have an appreciation for that, and actually that is my favorite cartoon version of the character, even though it's completely different from what my expectations are of the character. They treat the character with such reverence, and the storytelling, even though it's, you know, kind of dumbed down, it's something that the entire family can enjoy. And I think if they realize ahead of time, let's not go too far on the grim and gritty. Let's get back to having some fun in these movies. You know, not quite, you know, the Adam West type camp, but, you know, let's have some fun with these movies, because that's what's going good with the Marvel movies, is they're fun. They're not dumbed down. They're not kiddie movies. They're not, you know, kid friendly. Like, they are kid friendly, but they're not, you know, type movies. You know, they're movies we all can watch. You can watch it with your grandma. You can watch it with your newborn. Like, you can watch those movies. And that was one problem that The Dark Knight Rises had, was although they were really good movies, they were really dark. I mean, I walked away from that movie going, God, I need to stop taking my heart medication. Like, it's just, it was really bad. So they need to get back to fun, because that's what comics are all about. And
absolutely. I don't think this movie is going in that direction, though. I think it's going to be, once again, really dark. I think, Zack Snyder likes to push that envelope of darkness. But well, we can always hope. We can always hope that it will be fun.
See, I'm hoping that it'll be like the animated series from the Batman / Superman from the Bruce Timm era, where they had both of them kind of cross over, where it was dark in elements, but at the end of the day, like, you knew, like, you left that hopeful. So you can be dark, but you can also be hopeful, and that's one thing with Man of Steel. I wasn't hopeful at all. Like, they had the death scene with Zod. And then all of a sudden, the lady's making jokes about how hot Superman is. It's like, wait, what? Like, 2 minutes ago, we had a death scene. Now we're all supposed to, you know, cue the canned laughter. You know, like, it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad.
But if they keep up with, you know, give us something hopeful at the end of the movie, like, that's all they really can do. You can be as dark as you want, but show us that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You know. So.
Yeah. I think the movie's actually going to borrow some cues from Hancock, which was interesting, like a real-world take on what Superman would be like. If there was a person like Superman in our world, what would the response be? People's just response.
Asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's definitely going to be some Superman protesting in this movie. I can see it.
Well, dude, the amount of death in this movie, not that happened, but that he caused. Like, the dude's throwing Zod. Like, at no time was he ever like, Zod, no, the people. Like, if there was a line like that, at least I could have been like, all right, I can stand up for the guy. But, you know, the whole time they're fighting through Sears and IHOP and all these other, you know, paid sponsors.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm just like, nah, like, just, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Superman. He was kind of a thoughtless Superman. You know, he didn't have any real. He never spoke up really,
not
and
really.
that's the thing. Superman always seems to have a good speech, even if it's short. You know, he has something very uplifting to say. And the Christopher Reeves movies, it always seemed to be that way.
Well, the thing about it was, and people say, well, did you like it better than Superman Returns? And I'm like, well, of course, because
Yeah.
that movie costs, if you go for inflation, the movie costs about the same as what this one would have. And it's like the dude didn't even throw a punch. And it was more like Super Stalker. It wasn't really Superman. So it's like they didn't get it right with that. And with this one, like he didn't earn the name of Superman. And again, for someone who isn't really a big fan of the character, um, I'm looking at it and I'm like, even I'm looking, I don't see any sign of what this character could be. You know, there's no inspiration. There's no. He didn't seem to give a shit. He's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna snap his neck, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
I'm hoping that somehow Batman kind of kicks some sense into him, and is like, look, dude, you have a standard that you need to set, so set it. You know, people like me are going down this path, but you could be better. Like I'm hoping that they
Yeah.
somehow make the first movie justified with the heart-sinking feeling that I left when I left the theater, because although some kids, all they'll see is Superman. Me, I didn't see Superman at all. So, and again, they had the great actor, they had great people playing the parts, but one, I think what was missing from Man of Steel was there was no Clark Kent, like not the nerdy glasses type, because that's a really important part of the Superman mythos, and I felt like that was missing. A lot of what was in this movie that could have made it great just wasn't there. So with Batman v Superman, like I'm hoping they do, something to just kind of make a little more sense, because it wasn't Superman to me.
Right. Right. And that's the biggest task this movie has, in my opinion, is to portray Superman well and
Right.
get him back on track. Because it's mostly a Superman movie. Batman's in there; he's an important part, obviously. And then there's the other characters, but it's mostly a Superman movie. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, it's like if they, we all know we're gonna go see some Kryptonian stomping, Batman. But so we all know why we're going, but I'm hoping that it takes the opportunity to use that and then step above that and give us something better. Because like I said, the only thing I learned from this movie, and if I was a kid, I'd have been like, so it's okay to snap necks. All right, we're good. There was no moral of the story. It's like I'm gonna snap this dude's neck, and then I'm gonna feel justified in telling the government I do what I want. I work the way I work. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like the reason why I hate Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. It's like to me it's not the character. Either my perception of the character is wrong, or they're not portraying it right. So
There you go. Well, with that one, I think we will bid you adieu. Thank you
all
for
right, bro.
joining us, everyone. And hopefully we'll see you next time.
All right, we'll keep on geeking on, man.
Later.